Today we're going to talk about D&D's most controversial setting, Dark Sun. Let's begin. Well, hey everyone, Cody Rodriguez, and time for another edition of Hobby Toku Anime, but we're in the summer of D&D Settings, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite D&D settings that you don't see in 5th edition yet, but it might happen with a few controversial, D&D's most controversial setting, and that is Dark Sun. Let's explain. Magic Mike, go ahead.
All right, so Dark Sun is one of the few settings that hasn't been ported up to 5th edition.
Correct.
Got a little bit of love in 4th edition. But
yeah, which is kind of weird because 4th edition is like New Coke bad, which I explained earlier in other videos. But the point is, 5th edition, 4th edition's biggest pro is making Dark Sun popular. It's a setting that's technically, if you remember the past 2 weeks, we went down, up. This is like in the border of not connected at all because it's like the ashamed child.
Yeah. So,
welcome to Atlas or Dark Sun. The planet is called Atlas.
Yep, the planet's called Atlas. It's kind of
like
last week we were talking about the Phlogiston.
Yeah.
The in between and the realms.
Yeah.
This week we're kind of like not anywhere in that.
Yeah, this is like the ashamed kick me child.
Right.
Where no one gives a damn. All the magic's dried out, and there's no real magic except anything with magic items can be used. You can use magic items to auto hit, but you have to roll a 1 first. It's a weird thing in this setting where if you use a magic item, a magic based weapon, if you roll 1, you can sacrifice the weapon to auto hit, but it's really very very hard. Like it's like the equivalent of getting a gutter ball, then get a strike. Yes. It's a good idea, but it's really like the only good thing because one thing you should know about Dark Sun is it's harder than heck.
Dark Sun is deadly.
Yes, so deadly that you don't start at level 1, you start at level 3, or in 4th edition you start at level 1. But it's more like level 2, level 3.
So yeah, you start at level 3, and when we start at level 3, you need those hit points because, especially when it was created in 2nd edition, you would just die immediately.
Yes, it's so desert-based, so Mad Max meets Dune, so desert and dead.
Yeah.
Anything that's magic will kill you.
Yeah,
like just being plant life being the only magic thing, mantises and. Just to know, the races of this setting are like mole dwarves, which are called mole or something.
So literally dwarfs that look like moles.
Yes.
They're called mordorfs.
Yes. Technically, they're kind of like the only kind of dwarfs you see normally because most of the magic in this setting is either evil people or not really good people because a lot of the magic stuff is like dictatorship, even if the whole planet's on life support. So
let's talk about the magic specifically, like a more overarching thing. The magic on this plane is very low tier.
Yes.
If you think about like Lord of the Rings has very little magic. Only really Gandalf and a couple of elves are casting magic.
Yes.
It's more like that power level of magic, but then you throw it into a setting almost like Dune where everybody is scrapping for every single resource. So it's very easy in this to have no magic, no help at all.
Yes.
And then you also need to like ration out every morsel of food that you have so you don't die of starvation or thirst or get stranded in the desert and eaten by a huge sandworm.
Yeah, this is the hard mode of D&D.
It's the mega hard mode. This is like if you play video games and you like hardcore mode where you as soon as you like die, the game's over. This is that.
Yeah, it's really weird because this is D&D's the most popular like controversial setting, and I didn't want to say this right now because this game has a lot of slavery elements, and this is just the part that I believe D&D 5th edition must remove. But it ruins the identity of the race because most of the starting players are slaves, which is bad. There are 5 rules of slavery in this setting, being no math, no reading, no magic, no freedom, and no
writing.
Writing.
See, If you're a slave,
You have one of
most
those
of the time
five things.
most of the time you start the game as a slave,
Yeah.
which is pretty controversial just in general that there's just human slavery.
Yeah.
And then you somehow have to break out of the slavery you're in. Otherwise, you just can't make any progress because
Right.
anything you earn that would be powerful gets taken away from you.
Yes, this setting is like the stupid Nuzlocke of hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like in Pokemon. Oh,
This setting also just doesn't have most of the enemy classes you would think of. There's no kobolds. There's not goblins. There's no orcs.
Yes,
there's no divine things at all.
They're the vanishing races, which are like the ones who are like, screw you guys, I'm going home, like Eric.
They've all left the plane, basically.
Yeah, they're like the Eric Cartman of South Park.
Yeah, the gods don't exist here.
Right.
There's a couple of evil gods, but there's no good god.
Right. And the only other magic class is something that I know Mike hates, and I have to say it, which kind of makes sense in this setting, psionics.
I hate psionics.
I know, but psionics is weird because it's like mental powers, but in a barbarian Conan setting, that's the only magic that works.
Right.
Like, it's like, hello, phone, do. The Arcada phone line has been hanged up. Let's try divide. Do. Well, we only have the 4 elements, but they're very crappy in your phone line. Please call again later for help. Damn it. Do. We're the psionic phone number. We still work. Good. Hope they're not. We're basically my managed. That's basically the problem.
Yeah, the problem I always had with psionics is that psionics can be in anyone.
Yeah.
So there's no reason not to just be a fighter with psionics, which gives you all the powers of everybody who would cast the spell.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so what does a wizard do? Oh, they're useless.
Really?
All right, what does a cleric do? Okay, they're almost useless. Okay, what does a rogue do? Okay, well, they're also almost useless because you could just be a fighter with psionic powers that do the thing a rogue could do.
Really, the only psionic class that works in modern D&D is the monk, but that's only because the monk is so melee-based, so psionics makes sense for it. Like Key.
Yeah, there's
Key
some
is
key
sort
power that makes it feel more adaptable.
Yeah, it's not really weird because monks don't have psychic powers in the rules now, but if you want to go 5th edition, 4th edition, that's kind of a pro of monks, but
the monks,
yeah, Mr. Teal would be disappointed.
The monks
just
have
to know
drawbacks
that's one of my friends. I don't want to mention him now because this is with my main friend right now. I'm sorry, this is just
Mr. Teal will be disappointed that there's no psionics, but
no monks.
Or there's no monks. Monks having psionics is fine because they already have a lot of drawbacks. No armor, no weapons.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
No magic. So it's like, okay, you get something back. But when it's like, hey, you're a fighter, you can wear plate mail that has super magic powers, and you can have weapons that are super magic powers. Also, here's Fireball. Like, no.
That's what I'm saying. Psionics suck in every way except for monks because it makes sense. Anywhere you put psionics in rogues or fighters, there's no point. The point is psionic doesn't work anywhere except for the monk because it makes sense with Key. It depends on how. It's like it's only controversial if you put anything but monk. But the point is psionics are not a good idea.
Okay. Well, if we don't want me to keep ranting about psionics, what other things are in this world? Is there any good stuff that comes from this?
Not really, except for one race being the Goliath, which I think was in 4th edition version. I'm not sure, but I think they did show up in the book. But the difference with Goliath, and next week we're going to talk about Planescape, these two, they both share a problem where their main new race is technically not existing in the modern depiction of them.
Yeah.
Normally, Goliaths are hill dwarves or stone dwarves. In this setting, they're just half giants that are like not good. They're sort of like the dimwit race. If you want a heavy slavery race, do Goliath. But as a race, it's kind of not really worth it. Like I say, the modern giants are way better than modern than in Dark Sun. But I think, and it's weird because Dark Sun is basically the only good thing about 4th edition. Because
You could say Dark Sun's the only different thing about 4th edition, but it was still really controversial.
Right.
So it's hard to say it's the only good thing. Because...
I say good thing in the sense of quality. Like, there are only 3 settings in 4th edition that matter. Forgotten Realms, Eberron, which we'll talk in a few weeks at the end of our penultimate episode, which is in 2 weeks, and Dark Sun. Really, the rest of the settings, maybe Grey Off for organized play, are the only settings in the 4th edition, which kind of is weird that the most controversial edition is in the most has the most controversial setting. I'm not kidding. It's kind of weird, but that's a weird fact.
Yeah, for me, I think Eberron was a bigger deal, but Eberron also came so much later, whereas Dark Sun was kind of
like
them trying to fix something that they made wrong the first time.
Yeah.
In 2nd edition, but then when they tried to do it in 4th edition, they did get rid of some of the slavery elements, but I don't feel like they got rid of enough and fleshed out the world enough.
Right, that's the problem with 4th edition.
Yeah, so it's like...
I don't want to say this in our series because 4th edition is so commonly bad, and it's not really canon anymore when it comes to, like, some things, like the dragon stuff they added are now canon, like the Crystal Dragons, Gem Dragon class sub-faction. But the point is, D&D 4th edition is not good, but this is the only pro. And also the Gladiator fighter, which is technically a fighter with everything, but there is one advantage that gladiators have over fighters, and that is melee, hand-to-hand, any hand-to-hand or any weapon-to-weapon combat that's similar, they get advantage on it.
Yeah, gladiators do give the warriors a solo melee damage route so that you can actually have a fighter who can fight head-to-head with a big bad and do damage the same way that either a rogue or a wizard could.
Yeah.
They're not very good at tanking, but they're very good at being like a melee damage output number where they're hitting for, you know, that 40 to 60 damage per shot range that you would expect from somebody who's casting a big spell or sneak attacking.
That's basically the best thing about...
Yep. Gladiators and Goliaths are really the 2 big things that we take away from Dark Sun that have moved forward.
Even if Dark Sun Goliaths are completely different from the only thing they have are giants, while in most modern editions, Goliaths have broader strokes of just being hill or stone.
Right. But in this setting, still a good idea. It's still a good modification. It's still something that's important to touch upon. Right. That this is where
it's weird because this is the only setting out of all the books in the new Dungeon Master Guide 2024 that has this class, which is weird because Dark Sun is the only one on the list that we can't get. It's the unobtainium of D&D, and because it's controversial. Hope you liked the video. Leave a comment below if you care for Dark Sun like I do. Leave a comment down below. Just comment saying bye-bye. And next time, we're going to talk about the final 2nd edition book that's important, Planescape. Hope you see you guys. Just comment saying bye-bye for now.